Hey guys, so welcome to Devil's Advocate, episode 6. Mr. Nothing Special, which is me, and my good friend, Average Joe. Um, I'm hoping for a fun night of conversation and just interesting topics and just, you know, shooting the shit with one of my best friends. Um, Oh, look, and he just came from a sad Phillies game, so excuse
We
him.
should have closed it out, man. We're up 3-2 on Boston. All we needed was one game, and they couldn't do it. I'm so upset.
Ugh,
It's all right. It's all right.
That's how the Phillies are.
Okay. Yeah.
But first thing I wanted to do was highlight some comments I've got from one of my most what did I say? I guess spicy videos I've done. Please check it out. Let's see. Let me get to it. Yeah, please check out my other videos. They're all fun, I think, great conversations, great topics. So, hopefully, you would enjoy it as well. Let's see. I'm trying to get to it. Oh, I just want to say, thank you for, all the subscribers, all the likes, all the views. I mean, it's been amazing, right? I love everyone that subscribes. I love everyone that just views my, me talking. It's amazing that anyone wants to listen to me. Now, I wanted to bring up this because it was funny, right? One of my haters from a video I did recently. I just wanted to show my co-host from a video I did when older Black women are terrible role models. Ooh, spicy.
Yeah.
Now, my pinned comment, right? I'm going to try to do that, right? The pinned comments will be like the shame comments, like the funniest or this comments I want to highlight. This girl, this anonymous, who knows this girl, called me an overweight Asian. It hurt. It hurt me a lot, right? Something that I didn't even know. I didn't even know I was Asian. But it was quite hilarious. But what I wanted to highlight, right? She blasted me a lot, but which, if you want, check it out. Was this one, right? This comment. Could you read it?
Yeah. Want me to read out loud?
Yeah, read it.
Thank you, Renee. Some Black people have a code. Listen to Jason Black. He speaks of men like him, different races discussing our community. I understand Black men being so off code. This is why they get no respect. They let every Tom, Dick, and Lee talk about Black women like Malcolm X said. The Black woman is the most unprotected. And then we have Bruce making.
Now, I want to say that's what I said. I want to say a couple things, right? How it's ridiculous, right? That people think Black people can't be racist. Well, that is quite racist. I'm saying that's racist, right? So, regardless, that is racist. I ain't Chinese, so I have nothing to do with Bruce Lee. But regardless, okay, I think it's funny. And I've said it before, right? In all my videos, I talk about men's issues. I don't care about what skin tone you have, right? I care about men. I care about the struggles men go through. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Asian. I care if you're a man and you are struggling in life. That's what I talk about. And it just so happens, well, black men struggle with black women. Well, okay, that's life. But I would say men struggle with women, period. And I talk about this issue. This is the problem, right? Where I think it's funny that this woman talks about community when another controversial thing I said, single mothers do not make a community. Black women promote single motherhood. That's not what makes a community. A bunch of single mothers don't make a community. So really, you talk about community, you help perpetuate the destruction of black communities, period. So really, no. And I can say this, the vitriol I've seen from black women towards black men, you're ridiculous to think that black men should protect you when you call black men all these words, all these toxic, venom. Because I can tell you this, a lot of black men support the things I've said. Why would you think that? Because they have been hurt by black women. What do you think, Buff?
You are wild, bro.
And but I can tell you this. It's the truth where I say that I've had black men talk to me, right? I've had, and in real life and in comments, right? And I tell you this, I watch black men talk online. This is the difference between me and women like this, where I actually listen to men and I actually listen to black men. So I hear black men's issues. So it's not me speaking out my ass just because I'm Asian. No, it's me actually listening to men and just pretty much repeating a lot of men's talking points, how men feel. So I know you probably haven't watched this video, but men say a lot of things I've said. So really, you think it just because I'm Asian, that does not change the words that come out of my mouth. So whether I'm black or Asian, it won't change the things I've said. It just supposedly give me credibility, supposedly code. You women, black women especially, don't follow no code because they shit on men continuously. And I said it before, single mothers don't make communities.
Whew. Man, we ain't even reacted to a video yet. You just spit hot fire. I don't even know what to I don't even know what to say.
What do you think of what the things I've said?
Nice, put me on the big screen. All right, so I'm going to watch that video, that last video you made.
You should. You should. I mean, come on.
I'm scared, bro. So I'll check it out soon, and then we can really talk about it. But in the meantime, okay, so your statement about single mothers. Assume that all or most are single mothers by choice. And that women in mass.
All single mothers are single by choice. Single mother by choice. They choose to be single mothers. No one forces them.
You saying a man doesn't have nothing to do with it?
I think no. Let me say this, right? Even if you put in the situation where a terrible man, let's say, left his family, you chose that terrible man. At the end of the day, you chose to be with this terrible man. You chose to give birth to a child to this terrible man. There's a chain of command.
It's never like the man chose a terrible woman or the terrible man chose a woman when they didn't really want a family. But
you gotta think like this.
Look
at this, right? Look at this. I did well a while back. I did a video. This one man slept with 7 women, and he's a terrible man. He's a terrible man. He said no condom. He's straight finishing in them. He told them to their face that I will give you the morning after pill, or I will give you the pill, right? To, end the and whatever, right? Plan B. We'll give you the plan B. I do not want to be a father. These 7 women choose to give birth to the child. So whether that man, and I said it, he's a terrible man. He said that he won't raise their children. He won't have nothing to do with the children. I don't take away from men being terrible. I take away from women have the power of, and please watch my other videos. I've said it before. Women have the power to choose who can become fathers. Men have zero, absolutely zero power in that choice. Men cannot tell a woman, you will get pregnant, I will become a father because I'm forcing you to give birth to my child. Men cannot do that by, legal standards, right? Men cannot do that.
In places where they're like making abortion illegal?
You can't. Let's say even those things, right? Abortion is legal. Okay? 1, women could not let a man finish in them, make a man wear a condom, don't have sex with that man, go to another state to do it, or there's plan B. Even abortion, you don't have to get. I don't think plan B falls under the abortion thing, but I said that's why there's so many layers to it. That's why I say men have little. I don't put a whole lot of. Again, I don't take away from men being terrible, but I say men don't have a whole lot of power in that situation besides them wanting to have sex. Everything else, there's so many ways, right, for you to stop having a child. Okay? And if you choose it, well, then at the end of the day, you did it. You did it yourself. You chose to be a single mom. You chose the man. You let him finishing you. I could continue naming it. There is nothing you can say. There's no situation you can say that will change that perspective because there isn't. I'm surprised that you can't see that perspective where, yes, men can be terrible. I'm not saying that. Whatever. But there's no situation that you can say that's outside of the bad, the abuse,
rape, sexual.
Yeah, outside of those, right? Because that's force. That's 100% force. I'm saying that outside of those, right? Men have no other power outside of force to control that situation. So 100% of responsibility, 100% falls on the woman.
And you're saying that the woman's doing a bad thing if she has the child.
Well, okay, I know that. Okay, I'm particularly pro-choice because I'm accountability. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit what you do with your life. I don't give a shit what you decide to do with your supposed future family. I don't. I don't love it. Okay, I'm not saying, oh, let's do it, right? I don't love it, but I'm not saying I'm a person about accountability. You chose what to do with your life, not me. So, like I said, I don't love abortion, but again, that's your thing. So really, I'm not gonna say that. So,
that's interesting. See, this is a really deep, interesting discussion. It's funny we haven't even watched the video yet, right? But
well, I don't. This is not. This again. This is. I guess we're going a little bit off topic because I'm not gonna watch the video because you should watch it yourself. But it's not about the video. It's about the comment where I want to go back to it. Right? I said 2 things where it's ridiculous that women say community when supposedly modern day Black community is made up of just a lot of single women, single mothers. And I say single mothers do not equal a community. I say family, husband, wife, children, and a whole lot of those families coming together equals a community. That's what my view. And I believe traditional old black communities, that's what made black communities. That's my view on that part. And I think it's ridiculous that she's talking about black women are the most unprotected. Why would you protect women that shit on men continuously? And they're aggressive, they're unruly, they are just terrible women towards men. Those are my 2 points. We went off a little bit of a tangent because we're talking about the single mother community. That's
Man, all right, we really gotta like take an episode to really get into it, so like I can really talk about it. I think that when people say black women are like the most unprotected, they're talking about more than just situations involving motherhood. When it comes to professional the professional viewpoint of a woman, it appears that black women also often don't get the benefit of the doubt. Statistics, and I have to look this up to verify it so that we can talk about it next time. But statistics usually show that, like, even like in the medical profession, if a woman says they're in pain, a black woman is usually less likely to be believed.
I've heard of that. Although I'm not discrediting it or not, but unprotected in the sense that what is men going to do with that? What would black men do with that? Right? I think that's a different
there's
social idea, because black men are not discrediting women's pain. That's not it.
No, but I'm just saying that they're not always just talking about the relationship between men and women. They're talking about like our legal system and our medical.
That's why I believe, right? I believe in this, like, at least in this case where women are just using words just to use it, right? They're using unprotected. Well, that's not what I'm saying. That's why she's just like I said, women use.
There's the example of a woman in Florida who got put in jail for firing a warning shot to keep a abusive husband away from her, and she was still doing time. There's the example of a woman in Florida who got jailed for voting even though she had a record, and the exact same thing happened with a white woman in another state who was only fined. But that woman who voted without realizing that she didn't have the right to vote is still in jail. And there's some other examples like that. I can look it up later. It's not completely related to what we're talking about.
Not really.
But if you're talking about between,
I prefer to talk about men and women dynamics, right?
Well,
the things you talk about, I mean, that's more like I don't know, government and more legal. I mean,
yeah, but I think that's often what they're talking about when they.
No, I mean, like, it may be based off of that, right? Where they're unprotected in that situation, but again, that's not between men and women dynamic. So really, and my videos are pretty much talking about that. So really, like I said, women just throw out words just to throw it, because that's not what I talked about. So that's why it's ridiculous when you could talk about, when I'm talking about how women treat men, you talking about you unprotected is ridiculous, because really, you don't deserve to be just protected just because of your skin tone or just because of your race. That's not, not everyone deserves to be treated how they should be treated. I mean, just you got to earn it. And women have disrespected and shitted on men for years, for decades. So really, women don't earn protection from just random men. But come on, I mean, like, I don't mind.
Let's hit that first video, bro, and then and then let's discuss like what let's see what we're discussing because we might not get to a video. We
Well, okay, no, okay, okay. Let me say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The video that was the comment, right? It's a later on video. I'm going to show you the not the original, but the video that started this conversation. Okay. Because I'm not going to show you the video that was that comment on, because it's a different one. It's I guess the result of this video that I'm going to show you. Okay.
Okay.
And they're ruled by them as well.
That you said that you can.
Let me turn it louder. Tell me if you can hear it fine.
Okay.
Not teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver?
Pay attention.
Would you date?
If he owns the bus, if he owns it, if he owns the bus.
That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well. I would date a bus.
I find it fun.
So we don't need to like listen to my my views, because watch the video to get it. But I may talk a little bit more about it in this one, but watch it to get more of my thoughts. But I want to know your thoughts. Dissect what was said, by both people, because the video with the comment was on the one that the other lady, right? Yeah. The one who's talking about the bus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the talks about, I would date only if he owns the bus. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that video, right? And I've said that she's an old woman, right? She's an older woman. And that title is directly at her. Okay? The title of that video, right, with the comment was at her. So,
Well, let me say this. The older woman in the video who was explaining that she would date a bus driver and why, I agree with her. And let me point out, she was a Black woman and she was an older woman. She was mature. She was smart. But she did mention the things that should count in any relationship when you're picking a mate. If you're a man picking a woman or a woman picking a man or otherwise. Personality traits like integrity and honor. There's another word for it, but yeah, integrity and honor and someone who loved what they did and someone who treated their mate right. Those are things that are important. It's not the income level that should be the primary reason why you pick a mate. If it is, I mean, that's fine. It's not illegal, right? But I did agree with her when she said that sometimes the standards are off because you're looking for the wrong thing. You may be looking for someone who makes a lot of money, but if they don't treat you right, if they're not a kind person, if they're not someone who loves what they do or who are secure in their masculinity, there's a lot of other problems that you can run into that will make you unhappy. And if you say there's no good men, but you're overlooking a ton of good men who just don't make enough money for you, well, you're limiting your choices. And that's fine if that's what you choose to do. But the woman in the video said some wise words. She mentioned the things that should matter, because ultimately those are the things that will make a person happy in a relationship, or will make two people happy in a relationship. So but again, let me point out that was a older, mature Black woman who said those things and was right. So you give her some credit.
Well, I mean, I'm again. Remember, things are entertainment. I'm being
Yes.
salacious,
Yeah.
but again, if things are, I say it's in general. There's no absolute. There's no. I believe there's no really absolutes in this world, right? Rarely will you see anything that's 100%. So I say take things with a grain of salt, and process the information you get however you want. We are adults. But I'm saying that, like, let's say the other one, the other old woman, right? She is the representation of modern woman. Even though the more mature, more logical, more morally sound woman said amazing things, but women don't gravitate to her. Right? Women don't look at her as a role model. They don't. They look to the other one, who's career driven, who's aggressive, who's combative, who is focused on a man's finance, who is two-faced in her argument. Here's a woman that talks, and it's funny that these Black women in my comment section talk shit about me, talk about I have no say in the Black community. Yet here's a woman that they really to defend. She dates mostly outside of her race. Okay, I think last man she was with was a white man. Okay, and supposedly now she's a voice for Black women. Okay, that's ridiculous. Also, I said in my video, right, when older Black women are terrible role models, this is a woman that is 40 plus, and she's career driven, complains about men, and now trying to conceive a child through science, in vitro, shit like that. You are I said in my video, that is a terrible role model. Pretty much making herself a single mother. This is the subconsciously promoting single motherhood. If you want, I've said before, you choose in life, no such thing as perfection. If you want to be a career woman, well, stick to that shit. You later on choosing, I want a family now, well, then you're ridiculous. You're delusional. Right? Because you are already starting off your child on the wrong foot of not having a father, of not having a stable family, of pretty much coming into this world a single mother home. She's a terrible role model. Period.
Okay. So women who actively keep fathers out of their children's lives are doing their children a disservice. I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
Exceptions for situations where the man is abusive, are completely irresponsible. That does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen. I'm not saying it happens often. I'm not saying it's a certain group of men that do that all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But it does happen. It should be acknowledged. And in those situations, it may be better to keep a child away from their father. But
I don't take it away from them. I still blame the mother. You chose that terrible man. So shit with you. I don't,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying the blame should be shared because
Yeah.
irresponsible men aren't. It's not real. That it's not the truth that irresponsible men are out here advertising that they're irresponsible all the time. Sometimes, but not all the time. They're charming. They're smart. They're funny. They're good at hiding their flaws, right?
But then, no, see, that's the thing where I believe, and I've been proven right on many occasions, that women ignore red flags.
Well, people ignore red flags. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. But in general, when you're having a children, when you're having a relationship, no, because women, I believe women should not be allowed to ignore red flags because you're bringing children into it, right? You're giving birth to children. If you give birth to children in a domestic violence situation, well, then you should not have. You shouldn't have. Men are not giving birth to children when they're abusing women. No, because they're not. They don't have that power. Women bringing children into these situations, that's why, although, yes, men and women ignore red flags, it's a detriment if women ignore red flags. Okay? It's a detriment because you're bringing kids into this. And I say this.
Is it so?
But
are we saying that it's better the child not exist than exist in a tough situation?
I personally believe so. I do not see, and of course, if you always love exceptions. Of course, there are children that will grow up to be productive adults, and they've had terrible, terrible childhoods. But again, exceptions don't make the rule.
Situations are the exception.
Huh?
I think perfect or even very good situations are the exception.
But you know what? But we can change that by being, by our steps we take before it happened, right? Why would I say, okay, let's risk it, and you know what? Have this child be born into a terrible family and risk it, and let's see what happens. Or instead of, you know what? Let's not even go up to that step, and women actually vet men better. Like where we say traditional, have other people have their fathers, which sadly they don't, or have other male figures in their life vet their men. That's the thing. Women, feminists, they hate old traditions. Well, those were good to be. There were reasons why those were important, because women ignore red flags. Have have men in your life vet the men that you want to date, right? Actually, don't just have kids out of wedlock, right? Protection, Plan B, all these contraception, all these things that will prevent having kids. Enforce that a man has to marry you to have a child with you, right? 1-2 years. If he's not even marriage minded, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of steps a woman can take. Women just don't do it. So really, I believe, like, you're right. Perfection, all the perfection, what you just said. But there's a lot of other steps you can take, preventative, before you get that kind of outcome.
I don't.
And that's why I said how you viewing it being very soft is a detriment, because I'd rather be blunt and, you know what, say that you're fucking up. Don't do that. No, being soft that's not.
It's not about being soft. All right, so here's where we differ on this. Now that I have a clear understanding of what you mean when you talk about a single mother. If I have a daughter, I'm gonna teach her that. I'm gonna be like, be careful about the choices you make. I'm gonna be like, let me meet the guy you want to date. Make sure he's this, that, and the third. He's gonna show up for you. He's worth having in your life. He's worth giving a child, right? In a situation where the child is already here.
Well, I'm not saying make a child disappear.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, there's a line between holding someone accountable and shame and almost abusively shaming someone. And so if a woman has made some mistakes and they're trying to do better, I'm not going to shame them for trying to raise their children. Now, I may correct them when they try to blame somebody when something's their fault. That's fair. Be like, hey, if you chased a man out of your life who could have been a good father to your children, well, that's why you're in a situation now. But I don't see any point in heaping more onto them. Like, you're the problem with our society. You're to blame. You're not doing any favors for anyone. No, I'm going to encourage them to do their best to raise their child and to try to, I don't know, get someone to have a masculine influence in their life, whether it's the woman's father, their grandfather, or uncles, or other positive men, you know, in their environment, in their circle. I just think that the things you're talking about women making smart decisions, that's important for a woman to understand before they have a child. But where single mothers already exist and the children are already here, what else can you do but the best to help that situation now? You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That makes sense.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, here's my controversial take.
All right.
You should bring shame back.
You should what?
We should bring shame back.
Okay, all right, talk about it.
Women should be shamed, right? You should be ridiculed for your stupid decisions. Okay? You think about this. I don't know about you, but I've seen situations where a woman having multiple baby daddies. Okay? Multiple baby daddies. Like, I did a video, a woman have 3 kids by 3 different men. None of them married, right? None of them married her. It's like, this is the thing where your ideology, right, has helped perpetuated this. Where we are now, okay, you go, girl, you know, it's not that bad, you know, just do the best you can. You know, that's why I say you're being soft. I say, no, you are a disgrace. You are creating broken families. You're choosing terrible men, right? Which in turn makes you a terrible woman, and in turn also makes you a terrible mom, because you choosing every single man and you having sex and having a baby with every single man that you deemed not worthy of marriage. Yet this is one of the problem, right? Women deem these men not worthy of marriage and commitment, but yet you think this man is worthy enough to receive the most special thing from a woman. And women don't even think having a child with a man is that much special anymore. Because you just do it willy-nilly with any terrible man that's out there. And that's the thing. That's the problem, where I say bring shame back. Because these women do not learn their lesson. They're not learning their lesson. Because you're being soft to them. This day and age, the modern day, we're too soft on women making their mistakes. And we just enabled it. We enable them. And that's what you're doing, man. By you being soft, you are enabling bad habits. Rather, I prefer to be direct, honest, and blunt, because you already start off by showing irresponsibility, by already having, let's say, one child out of wedlock to a terrible man that you didn't deem worthy enough for commitment and marriage. So really, you already start off irresponsible on the wrong foot. So I'm going to shame you so you can understand, that definitely, it's burnt into my retina that I shouldn't be doing this. This is a terrible thing. I'm not saying that, be the best mom you can be, but you got to know that I can't make this mistake again. Okay? So that's why I say bring shame back, because women, they don't think it's much. They don't think it's that big of a deal to have 3 kids by 3 different men. I've heard that. I've also heard, right? Women don't think it's a big deal. I've heard a story where a woman knew this man had what 4 other baby mamas, and then she would go around and have a child with him. Right there. There's no shame in it. Shaming single motherhood should be a thing in current society because women don't think it's a bigger deal. Why do you think men like Future have so many kids? So really, men like Future, men like Nick Cannon, just men like why they think it's fine that you marry none of these women and you have kids with all of these women. So really, that's the thing. That's the problem where I'm sorry, men like you, right? Or worse men like you, truly feminist men who think that they're so supportive of women, but yet you're enabling them. And then women who are just delusional and being deluded in the situation where, oh, it's fine that I'm a single mom. You know, it's just how it is. It just happened. Oh, whoop-de-doo. It just happened. You don't feel the consequences of your actions. You don't, because everyone is supporting it. Everyone's propping up. Oh, you go, girl. You know, single mothers is amazing. Mothers are amazing. I think it's more important to become a wife and then a mother because that seems like it's more harder. So really, I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. I guess it's a twofold question. First, is the goal in shaming a woman or shaming a single mother to help them, or is there another goal?
It's to help them. Literally, I'm not the shaming. What I say is that let's say back in although it's not like the most best picture, but let's say back in I don't know the dark ages where adultery was shamed, right? The Scarlet Letter, right? A woman that is adulteress, that's been shamed. So really, women would really steer away from it because then it will ruin their name, it will ruin their image. So they will stay away from that. That's what I'm saying. Where I'm not saying shame to like just bash women because I hate women. No, it's to show that what my action is a terrible action. It has terrible consequences. So one, either I don't make that action at all because I'm saying shame women, period. Shame the whole single mother culture, right? That one, I don't want to become a single mother because it's just terrible. It's being shamed. Or two, I'm a single mother of one. I don't want to do that again. So the next man, I will not have another child unless we're married. That's what I'm saying. Where, wow, it will just I will be more shamed if I'm continuously doing the same thing over and over again. Or, yeah, I will be shamed for doing that act. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying let's just shame women because, men hate women. No, it's more about we have current society where we just constantly prop women up for bad decisions. We just do that. Where do you hear or see in society where we actually hold people accountable for their terrible choices in life? We don't. We say, "Oh, poor girl. Oh, you go, girl. You'll do better. Oh, you don't. He doesn't deserve you. Oh, this all these shit like that, where you try to support her, push her up, trying to make her feel better about her terrible choices in fucking life. Come on, that's stupid."
Okay. I guess I have a follow-up question or two. How would you help a man making terrible decisions? A man who constantly picked the wrong type of woman or who didn't have a high level of self-esteem, so he let somebody walk all over them.
Well,
them.
That's great. That's a I always say men need to be the best they can be. I think the thing where men have men already have low views of themselves, right? But they are guideless. I 100% believe men should have mentors, someone they could look up to, someone they could, listen to, someone that could help guide them and steer them. Personally, that's why I love, Redpill, Manosphere, these YouTube videos of men talking to other men. And now I've said it in my other videos where you don't have to be a sheep. You don't have to listen to one particular man completely because you're an adult. You make your own choices in life. It's your life to live, not no one else's. But at the end of the day, it's good to have other perspectives from men. And I believe, I've always said it, men need to strive for the best version of themselves, whatever it will be. If you want to be the 6-figure earning man, great, do that. If you want to be the best bus driver, whatever, do that. But it's like you have to be the best version of yourself. And it's just, I'll also say this, right? In life, there's bad men, good men. It's just how it is. There are some men that just, will do terrible things, and other men don't. So really, I don't necessarily think that. Why I would say this, right? I'm gonna say why women. And life is unfair. Life is 100% unfair. Women have the burner performance in this. What in my conversation is that, sadly, they produce life. They're the one who brings the next generation. I've seen. I don't know if you guys seen it today, but children are more violent than ever. They're more disturbed than ever. They're more mentally unstable than ever. Well, who's bringing that to life? Women are, right? Women are producing this next generation. So, as I would say, yeah, they're good women, they're bad women, whatever, But it's like at the end of the day, women create, they create generations, they create the legacy, they create the next group of people. So at the end of the day, I say, you know what? Power, what is it? The Spider-Man quote. I can't believe I forgot the Spider-Man quote.
Great power comes great responsibility.
That's right. I don't know why. I'm sorry. That was stupid of me for getting it.
No. That's a good point you made. But I think you already caught on to what I'm getting at, though. And you did it. When I asked you about how to help a man who makes a lot of bad decisions, you had a very compassionate answer. I would argue that it's as important, or maybe even more important, to give young women that same kind of guidance from older, smarter women, like the one in that video that you showed us. So I'm not saying that shame or taking accountability for the real consequences of bad decisions should be. I'm not saying that shouldn't be highlighted, that shouldn't be a part of our culture. But what I am saying is that it should be. A parent teaches a child with love and compassion. And if I want to help other men be better at being men, I think they need and deserve love and compassion.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? What?
No.
I think that's exactly.
I think no.
I think that's what women need too, because I think that's what people need.
No, I think people need bluntness. You need to be logical. You need to be blunt. I'm not talking about being disrespectful to people. I'm just like, you have to hold up a mirror to a man. Let's say this, right? A man that's, although, yeah, I was saying, I guess it made it seem like I was being really compassionate, but it's more like I'm saying, like, I do understand men, but I'm saying, like, men, they need to be more blunt. If I was giving more one-on-one guidance to men, I'll be more blunt. And I'll be more direct with the shit, right? I'm not gonna baby you, because men don't really need that. Men don't really need babying, right? Especially from other men, especially from a mentor. You don't need a babying.
But I don't think, I'm not saying it's babying, and I'm
Well,
not.
I don't think you need to be. I mean, maybe I'm interpreting wrong, right? Because I don't think we need to be soft in the sense that I'd rather be, direct with my assessments with things, right? Where I say, yo, you've been working at McDonald's for forever, so really that's not being the best you can be. You're being like below average. You're being bottom of the barrel man.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta step it up. I wouldn't being. That's one of the things where I believe, right? In general, men technically shame other men, but they do it in a way that, at least for friends, in aspect, they shame it because they want better for people, and that's why I said before with women, I want better for women. So me being shamed, it's not like I said, it's not necessarily going at it with hate. It's going at it where I want you to improve. And the shame is more being direct, more showing you that, yo, you're being a bum. You playing video games in your mom's basement. You're being a bum. You're being a true scrub. So really, you gotta step it up if you want different outcomes. That's you're the adult. So, like I said, we're single mothers. If you want a different outcome, then yeah, I'm going to shame you by being single. Motherhood is a shitty thing. It's a terrible thing to society. It is poisonous to society. But hey, if you don't care about the outcome, you're ready to be a single mother with multiple babies, then whatever, do your shit. But that still doesn't take away that's a shitty thing. But whatever.
So we might just be arguing semantics, because I don't agree with you. You should be blunt. You should be straight up with somebody who needs straight up advice, or needs to, like you said, hold up a mirror to them and show them the truth about their situation. But I just want to make clear that I think it should come from a place, like you said, and we agree, a place of wanting to help somebody.
Okay, yeah. Like I said before, I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm not doing it because I want to.
And I hear you. But then remember, all right. So last show, I talked about.
Please watch it. Please watch our last show.
It was good. It was a good one, and I talked a little bit about what bothered me about. I'm not even going to say Redpill. What bothered me about Kevin Samuels sometimes.
You guys got to watch that. He gave his thoughts on it.
Yeah, and it's not always their message, it's their delivery, because while they may have good intentions, I don't know that everyone who follows them or who listens to them also develops those same good intentions. So you may say, hey, we need to bring back some shame. We need to let these women know that the consequences to their stupid decisions shouldn't be praised. Cool. You may mean that to say, hey, if you show them where they're going wrong, they may stop doing wrong. And it's coming from a place of wanting to help. But somebody watching may be like, yeah, F these bees because they're all stupid and they make stupid decisions. I can't stand women. And it turns into a group of people who feel justified in their toxicity. And that's the only thing that worries me about it. And that's why I get that single motherhood, or rather having children who don't have both parents in their lives, that's detrimental often to the children. And people and women who decide to have children without the fathers in their lives and keep the fathers out of their children's lives are being detrimental to their children. And they need to understand that. But I don't want that to turn into all women are stupid and don't deserve respect. Our mothers are stupid and don't deserve respect. That's all. That's all I'm saying. because that then is also detrimental to the child, right? It is, right? Because if the child is hearing someone say, yeah, your stupid mom had you because she made a bunch of stupid decisions and she's a stupid woman and you shouldn't respect her, well, what kind of child is that kid going to turn out to be if he buys into that, right?
I mean, come on. I mean, like, you know what? Fine. We'll let the audience think what they want. I mean, I could say more, but I don't want to. We could go for hours.
We
Just
can
one
go for a long time with it.
So, I mean, you could watch the other one where I did give my counterpoints to his thoughts on Kevin Samuel. So that might flesh out a little bit, but at the end of the day, well, I could go more, but it doesn't matter. Let's continue with other stuff.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Because I would tell you this: subscribe and watch our future stuff because we will always dive deep because these conversations will be never ending. There's always more to say. There's always a deeper, thought we can have, and like we already talked about, what we did in the last episode. It will happen more and more. So definitely check it out. But I will show you again where I'm talking about women's choices are detriment, where women are stupid. So let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Years. I've given up on dating apps, so this is my series on trying to meet my future husband authentically.
Okay.
So today, I dressed cute, and then I went to the coffee shop and I read for 2 whole hours, and then I went thrifting, and then I went to my favorite store, Trader Joe's, and I am so happy to announce there was not a prospect in sight.
All right, no prospect inside a Trader Joe's. I don't know why you think maybe your husband's older, but men don't hang out at Trader Joe's, man. At grocery stores, that just seems kind of strange to me. I check out a few of these comments. First comment here says, sounds like you were trying to find a future wife. This one's important, guys, because if you are a woman today and you hit 28, 50 phase, and you're trying to lock down a man, that's okay. Doesn't look like she's got a crying kid in the background. She's not a single mother. So it's not looking too bad. But the fact that she's going to grocery stores to find a husband, to me, is kind of a reminder that most women today don't really prepare to be wives, as in they don't do their homework. They're not trying to figure out, like, where are the men who I want hanging out, etc. Just going to go do the things that they enjoy, the places that they like to frequent, instead of thinking, how does a man think? What does a man want? Are you even ready to be a wife? Here's another comment that says, look confused at a dive bar. This commenter says, or a Home Depot. Okay, we're getting kind of warmer there. And I promised someone would talk to you. I did a video a while back of another woman who was kind of commenter said, I saw going to a sports bar is a spot. So she decided to respond and actually go to a sports bar. Let's get it.
Okay, the Dodgers start playing at 1 o'clock, so this is part 2 of me trying to meet my future husband authentically without dating apps. We dressed cute. I waxed my mustache. We're gonna go sit at a sports bar.
No, I'm just kidding. Some of these women grow mustaches, man. You may not know that your girl might grow a mustache. Women have body hair too. Yes.
Have a little drinky drink, eat some fried pickles, and we're gonna see what happens. Let's go. I changed clothes. They don't have fried pickles. First message, don't get bags. Second message, that was a big old bust. There was like 10 people in that bar and every man was with a girl. Lucky for me, I stumbled upon a flea market. That is way more my type, so I'm gonna check it out.
What man's gonna be at a flea market? Come on.
That was
The only men going to flea markets are being forced by their women, or they, I like the Sunday markets as far as like fresh fruits, vegetables, etc. But you're not gonna find men in access at Sunday markets. Let's keep listening.
also a bust, but I pet a dog, so that was neat. I spy a record store ahead of me, so we're gonna hit that up. Won't find any men there.
It's therapy.
I was the only one in the store. My parking's expired and I gotta pee, so we'll try again next weekend.
Damn. Nobody? So do you guys think she literally could not find anybody? or nobody was giving her attention, because that wouldn't be too surprising. Men aren't approaching today. No one wants to get me too. They'll be called a creep. Or do you think it's also the fact that she didn't find men who she thought were worthy of her time and effort, etc.? First comment here says, the way you don't get discouraged is so inspiring, to be honest. Want to be inspired?
Men in my comment section exposing themselves for never being with a woman because you have no idea what women look like in real life. Peach fuzz is normal. Body hair is normal. Wait till you find out we have nipple hair, because I go to bed Tuesday with nothing and I wake up Wednesday and it's 3 inches long. We got happy trails, we got toe hair, we got back hair, we have cellulite, we have stretch marks, we have wrinkles, we have enlarged pores. I don't know what to tell you, but you need to get off social media, go outside, touch some grass, and I hope you're nicer in your next life.
All right, so that's that. A few more comments here. This one says, why do we have to remove all hair? And
okay, whatever. I don't give a shit about the hair part. What do you think?
Whew. I think I said a few episodes earlier, I did say this, so I have to hold myself accountable, right? If you're looking for a certain type of person, looking at places where those people will be. I think I can't remember exactly, but I think in the context you might have been talking about a woman's looking for a good guy. She might not find him in the guy that's hitting on everybody in the bar. So I don't completely disagree with her approach. However, I don't know where she lives. If it's very busy, if there's a lot of men, she's gonna find at like where she go, the thrift store and the boutique or wherever. If she's looking for a certain type of man who's into those things, okay, and I wish her the best. I think there's a degree of making yourself approachable too. Look, I'm speaking off the cuff. I'm so single. I am not an authority on this, but she might have better fortune at maybe, and I know you don't really have control over when these things happen, but at maybe like a wedding or a anniversary or somebody's birthday party, or I don't know, if somebody she knows has a bunch of friends over for a card game or a picnic, she needs like really social situations where she's there and not just there with herself, because when you're out by yourself, it's hard to meet people because you really have to do it cold. And it's a lot easier to meet people when you're with friends who know people. And I think a lot of people who meet other people without the help of dating apps or whatever, they meet them through friends or through people they know or at gatherings. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's
my thought is like, I got a couple, right? I'm saying like women are lazy. Women are mad lazy.
Okay.
So she's going to these places just hoping for men to go approach her.
I mean, I agree. You can't just show up.
Women are mad lazy.
Especially,
and I can say what he said, right? Things are changing nowadays. Men, in a good majority, a good amount, men are stop approaching women.
Yeah,
because of actions by women, right? Women have said, "Oh, I don't want men are icky. Men should not approach women. Men are. You hear it all the time online, okay? And women also preach it too. That men just step away. Why would I approach this random stranger now that, you know what, I'm going to be shamed in public, right? Why would I approach this woman where she's going to reject me in public? It's ridiculous because, first of all, you don't even know what type of man this girl wants. So if a man goes up to her and he's not her type, well, he's going to get rejected. Women can never understand the feeling of being rejected because they really are not. Because men go after them women don't go towards men. Women don't ask men out. So she's not really like, stepping out of her comfort zone. She's not really trying much. She's just going to places and having men approach her. So really, you're not making a whole lot of effort. You just go into places and let men can still do the effort, which is ridiculous when we have women thinking about, oh, it's 2023, feminism, women power shit. But you're still relying on old traditions when you're not a traditional woman. That's an old tradition where men approach women, men court women, when men go and ask women out. Well, you know what? Most women nowadays, they're not freaking traditional. So they don't deserve that kind of liberty. They don't. I don't think so. So if you're so free, you're so power, you're so liberated, well, you know what? Go after men then. Because really, I think that's the hard thing for men. Men do not know what you want. I mean, men know what you want, but men don't know what would attract you. Just period. So I think women are lazy. And like I said, I've seen it in a lot of videos. I've seen quite a few women do this, right? Where they get off of dating apps, which is, I think it's also stupid, right? It's not a point by you getting off of dating apps. It's actually, you know what? Why don't you actually go with a different mindset into dating apps where you're not going for the top good looking man? There are many other men that are more average. How about go for personality? This is why I said, even if you use dating apps, you could still filter men through better qualities, through better, preferences and standards. Actually ask men about their, morals, characters, how they see this, how they view that. Actually have a different perspective and, filtering men. But, women are stupid in that too. And I've seen a lot of things. I think women's ridiculous because I've seen a lot where men just don't approach women. So ridiculous how, and it shows because like I said, I see quite a few women do this kind of thing where get off of dating apps and try to authentically meet a man. Well, no, you're trying to authentically have a man meet you. So it's like, goes back to women are lazy.
Okay. I mean, I do think that her approach needs some work. I think to authentically meet anybody, it's difficult when you're alone. You do have to make yourself approachable. And I understand if she doesn't want to do that by herself because it's not always safe. But she'd probably be better off getting a group of her friends who are social and going to social events with people and then meeting new people. I mean, that's the best advice I can give. And it's from someone who's single. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Because this is like, I believe this is the outcome from the first girl.
Okay.
Earlier, but I would like to know why you all will allow a woman to give you everything that you claim you need. I can't let you go there because you're getting ready to be a victim. It's your choice. It's a boundary. It's your choice. Wait a minute. No. I haven't even asked the full question. Okay, but just say why you allow. Let's rephrase it. Why is it that when a woman gives you everything you say you need? Because then we're taking responsibility. Okay, because I do take responsibility. Okay. Everything so when a woman gives you was my fault. I get that. It's not fault. It's a lesson. But anyway, when a woman gives you everything you think, look, she doesn't got an attitude.
She doesn't got, and this is the woman that we saw in the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
I do like her. I do really like her. So because she gives a good perspective, and I do like her. And that, I could say women don't even understand that when they're giving an attitude. So
Okay, take a breath. Take a breath.
I just
Take a
want
breath.
to-
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Oh man, yo, it's a good thing she caught her there because she was gonna say the things you men say you want. She looked out. Let's get this.
Okay, so what is the question?
I would like to understand why in a relationship, a man will stay with a woman for a great length of time and allow, I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong word again, but that lady will do everything they ask for and they'll never marry her, but they'll meet someone and marry them in 6 months to a year.
Okay.
And that lady has not done half of what the other woman has.
I'm gonna let you answer. Who wants to answer that?
That's a question a lot of women have, man. I hear this question all the time. As you listening.
I'll let you answer that. But here's what I want to offer you. This is classic of when we go into a relationship and give to get. You're giving in order to get, as opposed to being in order to love and grow. That's why you don't get it. Gentlemen, why would you stay in a relationship with a woman who's giving you everything and then leave that relationship and marry someone who's giving you nothing?
When you're in a relationship with someone, it's about give and get. But when you're in a relationship with somebody and you think you're giving him something that he needs, and he didn't tell you he needs it, you're providing something that you think that he wants, not something that he needs.
He hit it right on the nail. He hit it right on the nail. This is a pretty common scenario where you have guys who will leave these long-term relationships and get married like that really quickly. And they'll get married and they'll be very sure that the woman that they're with is the woman who they want to marry. And women are left thinking, well, I wonder why he didn't marry me. He was just using me, etc. And it has to do with two things. Number one is I don't think most women who are that first chick who they just have the long-term relationship with, I don't think they're usually very realistic. Oftentimes that first chick is the type of woman who she's the one who's begging for the ring and begging for the marriage and bringing it up when you as the man have not mentioned it at all. If the man's not mentioning marriage and when you bring it up he's trying to avoid the conversation, there's your sign. But what do those women do? Well, they'll start giving you ultimatums. They'll start counting down. And do people get married with ultimatums? It happens. And the response from that man is usually like, hey, I do plan to get married, etc. But in most cases, the women who are giving ultimatums and they're reminding the guy that they're dating for marriage, there's your sign right there.
I mean, he's giving his point of view. I just want to get the first clip and talk about our point of views, right? So what would you think? Well, here, wait, you know what? Let me say some, maybe I could flesh it out so you can have a better thought. This is the thing with women where, let's say the first woman, she was, I don't know if you've seen it, but she said she's 28 and single. This one was captioned where she's 50 and single. And I think it's the same thing with women in general. They do things that they think men want, and yet they get the outcome that they get. That's the fallacy with women where they think they know men. They think they're actually providing something that men actually want. When in return, your results will speak differently, right? Your results will say that, you know what, you're actually wrong. The things that you're providing, the men that you want don't actually want that. But I say the fault with some men is that, you know what, some action is action. If I could get it, I'm gonna get it. So let's say for the woman in this one, why she stays in the relationship. Well, men are very simple-minded in the sense that, okay, this woman is giving me continuous access to her without marriage commitment. Well, then I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it until she doesn't want it anymore, because I personally don't see this woman as marriage material, as someone I want to marry, but she's giving me access to her body, so I'm going to take it until she doesn't want it. She doesn't allow me to access it anymore.
Which isn't cool. We
It
do.
isn't cool,
do
but
it.
I mean, that's men in general. I think that's men. I mean, like men, if they have access to it, they will take it. It's just that's why it's like that's why I say the power is on women, where I don't necessarily fault men because I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's how men are. But you gotta hear what I'm saying, where she is allowing access to her body. Women control sex, right? If in a non illegal way, right? Women control sex. Men just don't take it if they want it in a in a non legal way. So women control it. So if a woman allows a man to have sex with her without commitment of marriage, well then he will take it. Even though he never viewed to give her marriage anyway. Well, she didn't require him to have marriage. So after, let's say, yeah, a woman being with, and I've heard it before, which is ridiculous, a woman being with a man for 10 years, and now after 10 years, she said, oh, I want to get married. Well, you should have said that in like year 2. You should have demanded that actually in year 1, that, okay, I want to get married soon. Well, but it's your fault for allowing this man access without that restriction. So at the end of the day, if it's, I don't want to repeat myself, but you have the power to who has sex with you. And I've said it before, you have the power to who becomes father. So at the end, you are at fault. You have, like I said, with great power comes great responsibility. Like my friend said, like he reminded me, you have that power. So the responsibility is solely on the women. It's a unfair truth, but it is a truth. It's a fact that no one can counter because women have the power of who can have sex and who can have a father, who can be a father. Period. Right. So at the end of the day, it's these women that, one, they don't set those boundaries, and two, they don't really understand what men want. Because I bet you can see this, right? Her combativeness, her attitude. What man wants to marry that? I mean, he may want to, he may want to tap that, but he's not going to want to marry that. And you can see that with the last video with the white girl, right? How she's, you can see the attitude commenting in the comment section, against her commenters. You can see the attitude type of woman. And I believe most modern women have quite heavy attitudes. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's more attitude filled. So
okay. I think I have a couple things to say about it. As far as responsibility goes and the amount of power women have, I'm not saying you're wrong, because they do have the power to deny access to their bodies to an extent. Hopefully you're not with a terrible person who would try and forcefully take that. But men have the power to charm their way into a woman's life and then leave without taking responsibility. That is also a great power. And we seem to not see the consequences, but other people do pay the consequences for our actions.
Is that really a power?
Yes. What?
Because both people can do that.
You said men are, that's how men are. But if a man can get access to a woman's body, plant his seed in her, and then leave without raising the child, you're not saying that's a power?
No, I don't think it's a power. Because look at this, power, right? It's like
created a child and they do not have to do any of the work.
No, but you gotta think, right? It's not a power because you think about this. A woman gave that man the power. It's not really his power. Because like I said, here's one thing. You're moving the thought. No, you're moving the thought where you said 2 things: have sex and have a child. Well, those are 2 things I just said a woman have. So she gave him the power.
Why did
a woman could take it away or give it?
Why did she give him the power? We talk about this all the time, right? We're just average guys, right? A good-looking guy, or a charming guy, or a funny guy, or a guy who's a bad guy. You know what I mean? Dangerous.
Bad boy.
Yeah, right. He knows he has that kind of personality that can attract the women he wants. And he's using that to get to these women, right? Just like a woman who knows she's sexy and who can get any man she wants will use that to her advantage. It's just a people thing. Here's my second point now. With that woman in the video who was complaining, that's essentially the woman's version of nice guys always finish last. It's the same thing.
No.
It's the same thing.
You're wrong, because look at this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're wrong in the sense that nice guys finish last is because they have no choice in it. They have no choice in it.
But you're doing what the lady said she was doing. We gotta take responsibility too.
No. I mean, no. You take look at this, right? It's taking responsibility. I say that, right? It's the responsibility you gotta see, right? When I say nice guys finish last, is men treating women to the best of their abilities, yet they're still being shitted on.
Are you giving a woman what she wants?
And you know what? I can tell you this, right? The difference between men and women. Men learn what to do. Men learn what women want, right? Men do it. Women do not learn what men want. So let's say this. Women want finances. Women want to be taken care of. Women want protection. Women want to be treated like a princess. All this shit that women want, men do. Especially the nice guys, right? Because they want these women. So they treat them as a princess. Okay? That is not the same thing where a woman think that she's doing what a man wants when she's just doing what she perceives a man wants. Not because what she's asking what a man wants. No, they don't. Women in general, they just do what they think is best for a man. And mainly it's just sex. It's not so she probably not even giving the man peace. She's not adding more to the man's life. I'm just saying that like there's a difference between them because again, you're trying to make it. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make it equal. When it's not.
It's the same thing.
It is not. See, that's what I'm saying. You're constantly trying to make it equal. And I said it before. Women have that power, and now you're shifting the goalpost and saying that men have it. No, they don't.
Goalpost. I'm just saying. All right. So just hear me out. Right. If a woman like that woman on who we saw talking on the mic she thinks she's giving everything to this man, but she's not giving what he wants, right? And he goes off and marries someone who does. A guy who just treats a woman like a princess is probably not giving her what she wants. Because even you said it before, a woman may want, or you might say needs, right? A leader, right? That doesn't mean that he's going to be mean or abusive to her, that he won't be kind to her, but he's going to know when to stand on his decisions and when to tell her what to do that's in her best interest. You see what I'm saying? So she may want someone with a spine. But here's the other thing. Just like a woman who says she's given a man everything and he went and married somebody else. Well, the lady was the host of the show, and I really need to learn her name because she's kind of awesome. She said we need to take responsibility, and she said something else. She said there's a difference between saying that a man allowed you to give them everything as opposed to you decided to give them everything. And then she said, instead of giving them everything, you should just be. And what I think she meant by that is you show them who you are and you attract who's right for you. So when just like it's the same when guys complain that nice guys finish last. You can't finish last when you're the one who makes the race. You're the one who sets the goal. If you're the goal, you can't finish last. They need to come to you. That just means you need to build up your self-esteem. You show somebody who you are, and if it's not what they want, then they're not right for you. You didn't finish last. You won because you X somebody off your list who wasn't going to work out. And now you're free to go find somebody who's going to appreciate what you have to offer. That's I because I'm a nice guy, right? And I used to feel the same way. We finish last. They don't like us. They don't love us. They don't appreciate us. Well, if I appreciate myself first, right? Then if some woman doesn't want me, it's her loss. I'm gonna go find someone who does. And you don't believe it, but there are plenty of women who do appreciate what you have to offer. And what every man has to offer is different. Dan, you're a different kind of guy than I am. So what you have to offer a woman is different from what I have to offer, and vice versa. But there is somebody out there who will appreciate. And I'm not saying just like there's one person and you have to hunt through a needle. You have to find a needle in a haystack. There are plenty of women who will appreciate what you have to offer them. And if you find somebody who doesn't, bye. You're lost. You see what I mean? It's perspective. That's all.
Okay.
And that woman was telling the other woman. She was saying your perspective is all. You're setting the goal in the wrong place. You think, and you should be giving this man everything, and he should appreciate it. But then that other guy stepped up and said, well, you're probably not giving a man what he wants. You're giving him what you think he needs, but you're not giving him what he wants, right? And we were like, he's right. He nailed it. Well, it works both ways, right?
Let me say this, right? Where we have to understand. Okay. Men and women are different.
Yes.
Society for men and women are also different. I say it's at least the difference between me and you, right, is that I actually listen to men's stories. My world is actually bigger than just, the thing around me. Women are fickle. They're delusional. They're idiots. Right? I'm not talking about the educational way, right? I'm just talking about they're stupid in male and female dynamics. They're delusional, they're crazy, they're selfish. Because let me tell you this.
Okay.
I know a story, and I hear so many stories where a husband giving a wife everything she asked for. And she even says it. She even said that my husband is tall, good looking, well off, all this stuff. And then cheats on him with an ugly man who didn't even, who sex was terrible and didn't even focus on her pleasure. That's happened. So that's why that more provides credence to my view, where the difference between men and women is men are very simple. They're very simple in their wants. While women, even though a man knows what a woman wants, but a woman doesn't even know what she wants, because it will change. Women, I've said it, and please watch my other videos. Women are controlled. Women are ruled by their emotions, period. And when you're emotional, you are illogical, which in turn makes you stupid. Okay? And that's why I said stupid, because they are ruled by their emotions. Mm-hmm. And so in turns, how could this supposedly perfect marriage, which I've said it in the story, and you could believe it or if you don't want to, but that's up to you. But in the story, she said her husband is amazing. She said she loves her husband. She said her husband does everything for her. It's like practically perfect in her eyes. Yet she still cheated on him with a lesser man. Women are fickle. They're ruled by their emotions, which in turn makes them idiotic. And even they don't know what they're doing sometimes. They don't even know what they want sometimes. So that's the problem with women, in the sense that when you're too emotional, you are doing things without logic. You're not even thinking straight, because you're in an emotional state where this because this other man is giving you attention, saying you're beautiful, saying you're amazing, saying all this crap to you, right? And then you get a little bit of drinks, you get a little bit tipsy. This man's giving you so much attention, although he's nothing compared to your husband. Supposedly, you still sleep with him and cheat on your husband. That has happened, and that there are stories of stuff like that. And that's why I say that we have to understand the differences. Where I say that men, that's why I have different views for men and women. It's just how it is, and I see things differently from both sides because men are different than women and they act differently than women. That's just it. And that's why the problem with women like this is that they can't even, and men ask for so little, yet they don't even try to understand men. That's the issue where I say they're lazy as well. Which same thing with the first girl. Why she's lazy. Men want so little, yet you don't even understand what men want. And so you don't even understand how to attract men. Well, then you're lazy. Okay. And I said again, women have the power. It's all, that's why I said, maybe this is a controversial take, but women have all the power. Like I said, who has sex, who we can follow. That's really powerful. That's really powerful. So I don't know.
Hey, look, man, this you have an interesting point of view and some strong arguments. I hear you.
But I mean, like, I'm like, I know you hear me, right? But like, the thing is, like, I want you to actually like, I'm not a person where I'm not trying to change. I'm not forcibly trying to change anybody's point of views, but I'm hoping through interaction, through logical, assessments, you may see things differently, right? I'm not trying to say like, oh, I want to make my friend here a hard rock R pill, but you can see that, what? That's why I say men are suffering. Men are struggling in life because they don't have the power. And in turn, they are being abused. I personally believe men are the ones that are being abused in life. Men are truly being the ones who are victims. Yet the sad truth with men is that they stay quiet. Because men, that's why men are deluded in the sense that, oh, I'm a man, so me being abused by life I'm supposed to be, right? Men think that they're supposed to be abused, so it's like, okay, whatever, it happens. This is how life is. Men accept hardships, and that's why I make this channel. This is why I talk the shit I talk, because I feel that. I know that feeling, right? We as men think that we're supposed to be the what is it, the scratching post of life, of the world. We're supposed to be the punching bag of the world. We feel men, you gotta think, men are the ones men are the bodies on the battlefield, not women. Men are the ones that society sacrifices. Men are the ones. You can think the Titanic. Who goes off the Titanics? Women and children. Men are the ones to be sacrificed. Always. Throughout history, men are the ones to be sacrificed. And that's why this day and age, women shit on men and not even see and not even appreciate the men of the past or the men of the present. That's why I make the shit that I make. That's why I say the shit I say. And that's why I don't want to make it seem like I hate women, but that's why I want to bring accountability to women. When you shit on men, you do not understand it, because I believe men are at a worse place than women. Because women always think the top percent of men. When women see the top percent of men and perceive all men that are in, men this, men that, patriarchy this, men are so rich, men are having an amazing lifestyle. No, because that's not how it is for men. Mm.
Okay. Okay. No, and I feel you on that part. Definitely.
And that's the thing where I think the difference between at least me and your life, where yeah, what made me so into this, this ideology, these groups, right? Is that
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so many stories of men, and that's the thing where most men don't. Most men don't listen to other men's stories. They don't. So that's why your views is so small, where you don't hear these heartbreaks that men go through. These these shattering heartbreaks that men go through, where you see that women destroy men like it's nothing. Hey, you know what? This is what I um okay. Yeah, let's check this out. Please check out my TikTok, okay? Mr. Nothing Special.
Now you're doing it big though.
The more I do this divorce documentary, I think that women are evil when it comes to divorce. I interviewed this guy. Oh my god, I'm so sad. He literally showed me texts, like messages, print, because I make them bring in the document, because then people will say they're lying or whatever, so I make them bring in the actual like documents. She literally said to her friend, "I wish he would hit me," because she was trying to get him to hit her so she could take the kids and like bring that to court.
Wow.
Even though
That is crazy.
she admitted to hitting him multiple times, and then she didn't let him see the kid for a year. And then she went to court, and guess who still got primary custody? Isn't that crazy?
I hear that stories like that every day. Okay, and that's why I mean, statistically, yes, women are more abused than men, but I can tell you this: I would take that with a grain of salt, because I could 100% guarantee you, most men that get abused, they don't report it. You think women don't report abuse? Imagine the men. Because why would men report? Because they will be shamed, they will be looked on, they will be looked at less than a man. And they will be, you think women are less believed of abuse? Well, imagine men. What men would even believe a man getting hit by women as abuse? I believe men are okay. I'm not gonna. This is not a statement I would die on, a hill that I would die on. That I believe men are more abused than women, but I believe the numbers are not as big. There's not as much of a gap as the numbers represent them as to be. That hill I would die on. I would die on that hill, because I truly believe that, like I said, men are abused a lot, and a lot of them is that they just don't report it, because one, people don't believe men. People don't believe abuse towards men. Okay, that's plain and simple. And men, they also hold shit to themselves. Men hold, and I've been there where I hold depression, I hold the anger, I hold the the emotional abuse to myself. So I hear these other stories of men, and it shatters my heart. So that's why the difference is, I'm telling you, any man need to listen to other men's stories, because then that will show you, that will change your viewpoint of life 100%. That's why it changed my viewpoint, and that's why I'm doing the shit that I'm doing. What do you think?
I mean, I know we have a lot of different viewpoints, but we're on the same page with that. Like, I agree. I know that abuse happens both ways. That women abuse men often, and we don't know how much, because I'm certain it doesn't get reported, because most men wouldn't speak up. and we both understood. You explained why. So yeah, no, that's real. That's real. And that video is that's a heartbreaking story. That's awful. But I do know that stuff like that happens.
And that's the thing where imagine you hear that constantly, right? And I choose to hear it constantly because I want to wake up from, that's what the red pill is about, right? Where you wake up from your delusion. Where we believed one way I'm telling you, growing up, we only believed one way of abuse. We only believed men abuse women. Growing up as a child, I've never heard women abusing men. Right? I've never heard that. That's never been promoted on social media. You don't see that anywhere. You don't see that on TV, movies. You don't see that anywhere. But that's the shocking truth that, will wake you up when you hear other men's stories where how decent men are treated. That's why my views have changed. And that's why I believe more what I believe, like what I say about women, right? Where I believe the responsibility is on women. You treat good men terribly. 2, you complain because you chose terrible men. Only power that men have is that they choose who to be in a relationship with, right? That's the power the men have. And that's what I see, right? Who you want to be your girlfriend, who you want to be married to. But technically, do you have that power? Because at the end of the day, it's women who demand for commitment. They demand monogamy. They demand marriage. So really, it's a false sense of power. So really, that's why I believe men have no power. Men in general have no power in society. Okay? We confuse the top % of men to equal all men. That's the fallacy of the world we're living in today, where we believe, let's say, average men like me and you have any power in this world at all. We don't. Women have more power than average men like me and you. And that's why the narrative that I want to change, and that's what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm emotional, right? That's why I'm emotional about black men, right? Because I know men, period. Every color of men. That's what I'm talking about. Black, Asian, white, we're all powerless, right? We're all being destroyed. We're all suffering. While deluded women have more power than men, and then they view the top % of men as all men. So I don't know.
Listen. Well said.
I mean, and that's why I want to do more of these videos, because I also want to show you the journey that I'm having, because I've said before where you hear my friend's views, right, constantly, so you can see how he coming from, where I'm not necessarily forcing a change, but I want to facilitate a different perspective, maybe in him, to see that, wow, you know what? I'm actually seeing women having more of the power. That's what I'm saying, right? I want to show more of these dynamics that most men, just like my friend, right? Most men don't see, right? Just like the last video I showed you. Well, do you even hear those kind of stories?
You don't hear them as often as you hear other stories. I mean, yeah, so
I don't know. And I hope you guys go on a journey with me, get a different perspective, but, actually listen and hear the struggles of men, which I want to promote. I said this before. I believe Redpill is about promoting men to be the best they can be and showing men's struggle, period. If you think about anything else about men, Redpill, that's what it is. That's what I believe it is, and that's what I want to promote, right? So, what do you think? What do you think of tonight's show?
This was a deep one, bro. I liked it. I had fun. It was a good talk. Next week, let's just do jokes.
Next week, let's do some more wild. We'll do some wild girls, right? We'll probably like we're gonna do some shows of like. Check out my other ones. I want you to check it out too. Where there's this one where I don't know if you know Kendra G.
I heard of her.
Yeah, well, she does like a singles live thing on social media where people just go on it and talk about their life, trying to promote themselves, trying to get saying that they're single and seeing if they can get a relationship. Okay. And we could talk more about Kevin Samuel stuff, right? We could have more Kevin Samuel, so we could show the modern women, right? That's what I'm doing.
All right.
Cool. And you guys show me some. You gotta pick some videos, man. Some of your give back up some of your ideologies. Come on.
I'll come with it next week.
Yeah. All right. But I think we had a good show. It was fun. It was deep. I hope it was thought provoking. And I hope you guys like it. But yeah, check this. Check out the other shows. And check out my other clips. And again, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And just thank you for being a fan. It was fun. Check you guys on the next one, okay?
Okay.
Later, guys.